This happened in 1993. Back then, I co-owned a gas station in a small town you've probably never heard of before. We didn't have many employees at the time, and so I often found myself working the register through the night. We weren't one of those 24-hour gas stations, but we did stay open till 3 a.m. I remember one night working the register, looking at the clock and seeing it hit 2:30. I hadn't seen a customer in probably 30 minutes to an hour. I started organizing the shelves, getting the place ready to close up. As I stood in the corner of the building, to my surprise, I heard the door chime telling me a customer had entered. I walked around a shelf to greet them. It was a man. He had a tall and skinny build, wearing sweatpants and a light-colored t-shirt. His clothes were covered in blood stains. I was frozen and felt a sudden surge of concern, wondering who hurt the guy. Breathing heavily, he told me that he had just been in a car crash. I went to the back room, assuring him that we had a first aid kit. I offered to call for an ambulance, but he adamantly refused any medical attention or the police, instead asking me to show him to the bathroom. I pointed to the corner of the store where it was located. As he walked there, a few more times he told me not to call the police. I understood not wanting to get the police involved, but it started to concern me how many times he felt he needed to tell me. I started thinking about it more, and that's when I had the realization. Despite the bloodstains, I hadn't seen any actual visible wounds. Additionally, the man was walking almost perfectly normal for just having been in a car crash. My heart started racing. I ran outside and to the side of the building where our payphone was. I dialed 911. A female dispatcher answered. I relayed what had just occurred in a quiet tone, explaining how the man was still inside the building in the bathroom. The lady was silent for a few seconds, before I was informed of a recent stabbing homicide that had occurred in the next town over, reported only 30 minutes ago. I asked for a description of the suspect, and to my horror, the woman proceeded to describe the man I had just seen. Tall, skinny, in gray sweatpants and a light-colored t-shirt. I asked for officers immediately, and was told to wait in my car with the doors locked. In less than 10 minutes, there were 5 cop cars in front of my store. Guns drawn, the police entered the building. I stayed outside with another officer giving my statement, but I was interrupted by the abrupt commotion from inside. The man in the bathroom had reportedly jumped at one of the officers with a knife as they opened the bathroom door. However, he was soon overpowered by 5 or 6 more officers. He was handcuffed and stuffed inside one of the patrol vehicles. Needing to know, I couldn't help but ask one of the officers that had gone inside what the man was doing in there. He revealed that the man had injected himself with drugs, planning to emerge from the bathroom with a knife, attacking me and taking off with the store's money. A decade later, I got curious and did some digging on the guy. He was charged with the murder of a Dairy Queen employee in the next town over, and is serving life in prison.